Celebrating two bat mitzvahs of two sisters who share the same birthday is an infrequent event here at the LJS. This evening and tomorrow, as you, Iyyar and Maya, become benot mitzvah, is special. It's a double simcha, a twice blessed occasion for rejoicing and celebration, and how beautifully you led the service, particularly with your singing together. Your Torah portion, Maya, opens the book of Numbers, the fourth book of the Torah, with the date, the year, and the place as God speaks to Moses. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe b'midbar Sinai ba'ohel moed. On the first day of the second month in the second year, following the exodus from the land of Egypt, the Eternal One spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tent of meeting. And Iyyar, the opening verses of chapter 3, just before your Torah portion begins, opens with these words, Eile toldot Aharon uMoshe beyom diber Adonai et Moshe bahar Sinai. This is the line of Aaron and Moses at the time that the Eternal One spoke with Moses on Mount Sinai. The common denominator to both these verses is the word Sinai, the mountain on which Moses received the Ten Commandments. Wherever it was situated, probably somewhere in the Sinai desert, this mountain is undoubtedly important. You might think it would feature many times in the Hebrew Bible, in Tanakh. Throughout the 24 books of the Bible, however, it's mentioned only 35 times. That might seem considerable, but when you consider the length of the Tanakh and other significant places mentioned, 35 is not a great number. Sinai is found in the book of Exodus, in the account of Moses ascending the mountain to receive the commandments. It's on Mount Sinai that Moses communes with God and receives the second set of tablets after he's shattered the first. In Leviticus, a book of laws, the mountain features only 4 times. In the book of Numbers, apart from 3 references to the mountain, Sinai is the desert of Sinai, and in Deuteronomy, just 1 reference is made to the mountain at the very end in a poetic description of God coming from Sinai. Remarkably, there is not 1 reference to Sinai in the prophetic books, apart from Judges, and there are just 2 brief references in the writings, 2 in Psalms and 1 in Nehemiah. Sinai also has another name in the Bible, Horeb, but it is mentioned even fewer times than Sinai and probably belongs to another tradition which is woven into the Torah. This is the Nehemiah quotation. It is on Mount Horeb, the mountain of God, at the furthest end of the wilderness, that Moses encounters the vision of the burning bush and hears the voice of God commanding him to go back to Egypt to free the Israelite slaves from oppression under Pharaoh. I wonder if we can think for a moment what it was that led Moses into the desert, to the mountain of God, to what must have seemed an awesome and frightening experience, and eventually to become a leader of the Israelite people. And by the same measure, I wonder what it was or is that has led each of you here today. What was the journey that brought you to Judaism, to the liberal Jewish synagogue, to Rimon, our religion school? Were you born into a Jewish family and raised with the traditions that accompany the cycle of the year and the weekly rest day on Shabbat? Were you drawn to Judaism, perhaps because your antecedents were Jewish, and because you wanted to renew or create a bond that connects you with the past? Did you convert to Judaism, choose Judaism, or are you in the process of choosing Judaism as your faith? Perhaps you're part of an interfaith family and want to share the journey of your Jewish family, bringing up children to be knowledgeable and skilled, to feel proud of their Jewish heritage, or part of a Jewish family and not yet Jewish. Perhaps you are a visitor, drawn by your own curiosity about Judaism or the Jewish people. Perhaps you are here simply to pray, to find tranquility and order in an unstable world, to still the beating heart and calm anxiety or worry. This week, I was privileged to present 3 of our LJS friends, not quite Jewish, to the Beit Din of liberal Judaism. Each one, in very different ways, had discovered their own pathway and declared a desire to embrace Judaism and to become Jewish. One had fallen in love with the Hebrew language in a distant country, and after traveling across the world, had found his way to the LJS, to our services, the Torah, Jewish history and peoplehood, to the warmth and sense of belonging to a community. Another, whose Jewish partner died 15 or 16 years ago, began to attend services regularly and had thought of herself as Jewish even though not formally so, drawn by the warm and friendly atmosphere of our services, by the music and the embrace of the community. And a third, again after a very long association with the community, felt drawn by the words, prayers, music, and community, and expressed a wish to consummate that spiritual connection through conversion to Judaism. 3 different stories, 3 different pathways to their own Sinai. And India and Maya, you have forged your own path to this moment of becoming bat mitzvah, engaging in learning, being part of your class at Rimon, and creating your own sense of belonging to this congregation. The journey for Moses didn't end at Sinai. It began there with the burning bush and on God's mountain with the commandments. And your journey, tonight and tomorrow, as you ascend the Bima, your own Sinai, to read from the Torah, is also just beginning. This life cycle ritual of bat mitzvah, the privilege of reading from the Torah, which isn't an honor permitted to women or girls in the Orthodox world, begins the task of sealing your attachment to your Judaism and to this community of the LJS. Belonging to a community is not simply an act of association or suitability because there is nowhere else to go. It is an emotional and spiritual connection to our fellow congregants and to an expression of Judaism that is exemplified by its values of compassion, inclusiveness, egalitarianism, questioning, integrity, and kindness. I hope that you, Maya and India, and your family will continue this lifetime's journey of spiritual engagement, learning, community life, and friendship, and derive strength and comfort inspiration, and insight from being members of this congregation of the LJS. Amen.